Hello, this is Dan the Chairman, and welcome to Dragon Quest IV. This one's one of my favorite games in the series. Well, this is my favorite game in the series, my favorite game of all time, one of. And while you may be confused about Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, it's the same thing. It's a localization thing. Let's get started. Create a new log there. And I'm going to pick a male because I'm a sexist pig. There's no gameplay difference, although the female hero can equip a few pieces of equipment that the male can't. No. Now, those of you who have played the Dragon Warrior 4 version are thinking, what is this? Yeah, in the DS version, they put a cutscene in here that you didn't get otherwise. And we'll go over the menu shortly to introduce you to our hero. Yeah. Frog is gone. That'd be quite the ability to have. In real life, not in the game, but take what you can get. Hey, how's it going? I'm not gonna read the dialogue. If people want me to, then let me know and I will. Nope, nothing in here. There are some differences between the Dragon Warrior 4, Dragon Quest 4. A sizzle. That'd be good to have. And so the tale begins. So Dragon, for those not familiar, Dragon Warrior series, well, this particular game, the Dragon Warrior 4, Dragon Quest 4, it has a chapter system. We had our little intro, and now we go into Chapter 1 of Ragnar McRyan. Now, for whatever reason, when they redid Warrior to Quest, they threw in accents, and it's nearly unreadable, and sometimes a borderline racist when they can't think of an accent, so they just give them bad English. But if you ignore that, then the game is really good. Alright, so as for our menu, see up on the top screen there, and how I have it set up in the, adjust that a little bit, there. And the way it's set up is the top screen's on the top right, and the main screen, the bottom one, is gonna be the main screen on the left and on the bottom right as well. So when you pull up the menu, your health pops up. Talk to people, use magic, of which Ragnar doesn't have any. You can look around, but that's the same as just pressing the confirm button. You have items, you have up to a certain number of slots in your inventory you can use in combat and wear on your person, and an unlimited number of stuff that can go in the bag. All really nice compared to the original. Attributes, you can look at everything, and overall, and if you go to miscellaneous, you have equip, you can do it through here, change up your lineup, you can sort things both in your inventory and the bag. You have your battle records, which there's a title thing there. I haven't looked at that. I haven't really done a lot on the DS version, but we've done a lot of go-throughs on the NES. And increase the battle speed all the way up so that things don't take as long. Hey, how's it going? Lord of the Underworld. So Ragnar's being charged with going to save some missing children that have been happening throughout the kingdom and its adjoining province. And this game has a day-night system. You walk around outside for a bit and it becomes nighttime. And you see that blue door down on the bottom left? Can't open that right now. But I'm going to make a note of that for later. What the game wants you to do, so let's do that. I'm going to keep a running tab of where I see these doors. Alright, so we're going to need to head to Strathbourne. We can't open that door yet. We'll come back later. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. Oh, well. I'm sure you'll do what you can. Find $3 there. And here we have the reason why we start off with only a leather armor and a copper sword. a better reason than most games give. Here at the armor shop, there's a lot of things we can buy. We're going to pick up... Noticing some cropping issues there. Let's adjust that while we're here. There we go. Tech things be done on the fly as we go. We have a long game to play. We're going to pick up the leather shield. And if you press the L and R buttons, rotates the camera. Yeah, we looked at it. We'll poke at it from time to time. See how the game thinks we're doing. Down here is nothing. Here we have a weapon shop. They don't sell anything I'm going to want. Certainly what they sell is good. In here is where you save the game. Unlike the previous Dragon Warrior games of 1, 2, and 3 where you saved with the king, 4 introduces saving at a church. You confess your deeds. Tell me how many people you've murdered. We'll be doing that periodically. Hey, how's it going? Gotta look for Angus. And if you're new to the DS version, if you look at a bookshelf, there could be something neat to read. We talked to you already. We go into our house and we rotate the camera. Yeah, there's a sneaky one there. Key to strength, which I'm gonna actually put in the bag for later. Ragnar gets plenty of strength. He does not need the help. Medical herb, awesome. Medical herbs heal about 30. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to walk around a little bit and get up to level like 3. Alright, so combat is turn-based. You get this view with a nice background. Here at the start, we can just fight or run away. We want to fight, and you have the option to defend, cut all incoming damage in half, use a spell, use an item that is on your person. Can't touch the bag while you're in combat, or you can attack. Here in the very beginning part of the game, all we can do is attack. Now the encounter rate is highly determined by where you are walking on the map. The grassland plains have the lowest encounter rate, followed by forests, and the highest are the hills. So to make this take a little bit shorter time, just gonna go ahead and have it be in the hills. Thanks to that leather shield we bought, no enemy here should be able to do more than 1 damage to us. New enemy, Air Rat. All pretty vanilla enemies we're gonna find to start with. As you're introduced to the game. So what I really want, more than level 3, I just want enough money for the leather hat. Ragnar does plenty of damage with the copper sword for almost the entirety of the chapter. And for that level, you see, yeah, he gets a lot of strength every turn. Just so you go over the stats and your attributes. So you have a list of stats there. Strength relates to how much damage you do. Agility, how quickly you move in battle, like when you take your turn compared to the enemies and other party members. Resilience is higher that goes, the higher your defense goes. Wisdom is a broken stat that doesn't do anything for really for characters that learn magic. Their wisdom has to reach a certain level for them to learn a spell, which is almost always around the same time. Every now and then, a character might learn a spell a level or two before or after when they expect. It's not at a certain level. Luck has to do with how often status ailments hit you, has nothing to do with your critical hits. And then you have your attack and your defense. And the way the damage formula works is for every 2 points of defense you have, you ignore 1 point of attack from an enemy. So it adds up pretty nicely to get higher defense at the start, whenever applicable. And on the top screen there, you'll see, just whoever on the DS, you'll have, during combat, your little character models, and your health. And who you're targeting, in case you need to know that as you go along the line. Alright, we'll just finish off this level, then go inside and shop. Really, I'd like to... I have enough for the leather hat, but I also like it to be nighttime. Just so we can see what a town looks like in the dark. Ah, hey, there's level 3. 4 more health, 4 more gold, strength, 10 more gold. Now this grind isn't absolutely necessary, but it helps a lot. And there's Nightfall. And really nice touch is that the different time of day is represented in the background. Didn't quite get in here at nighttime. There we go. Yeah, the music changes at night. It's a nice touch. See, in the NES version, he just flat out says, hey, he's not coming back. Get with me. I just wanted to show off that nice music. Alright, so let's pick up that leather hat and head to Strathbale. We almost had enough for the hardwood headgear, but... Actually, we may as well. Just worked out nicely that way. 2 gold. Alright. We're gonna go punch 1 wild slime. Get ourselves a new hat. Yeah, he's depicted wearing heavy armor. A wooden hat will have to do. And if your character can't equip something, the shopkeep will tell you ahead of time, and then ask if you still want to buy it. So you won't be totally boned if you select the wrong thing. When we get to Straithbill, we will need to buy new medical herbs. But hey, there's one right there. Now, in dungeons, the encounter rate is fixed. But if you're playing along in the NES version, then you will find that a lot of these areas are closed off, and it's not superstition that when you go into another room in the dungeon, that you have a high chance of getting into a battle. That's hard-coded in to simulate not knowing what's around the corner when you take a turn. Alright, now we're up here. Now, you see up top, in the top screen, there's the map of the world. It's gonna unlock as we walk around. And right here, we have Straithbill. I spoiled it a moment too early. And nice, I want to buy a couple antidote herbs. You press right when you're shopping. Toss those in the bag, we don't need to use them. Yes. This is the DS remake of the NES game, complete with post-game content that I haven't touched yet. Really excited to see that. One of the points for this on the DS over playing it on the NES is that when you get more characters later in the game, you'll get a chance to control them in this version. I'm not going to do that unless I absolutely have to. But it's there. Nice cat. Oh. You don't have to use the examine command most of the time. You can just search things by pressing the confirm button. Someone got caught stealing bread. Maybe we should check that out. The innkeeper's son, Willy Wally. Willy Wally, and they're all Scottish. Yeah, the puns in this version of the game. If you like puns, viewers, you're gonna have a good time. And sometimes you can find things on the bookshelves. Willy Wally. Willy Wally went up into the sky. Oh, I guess we'll have to do that. We'll come back at night. Children just disappearing. Just smash all the barrels and pots and... Hey now. And in here we have another... We keep talking about the people in jail. Guy in jail who stole bread and acting like a child. That's me, Ragnar McRyan. Hey, how's it going? Oh, here, if you just search the ground around a glowing spot, find a few bucks. We have 41 of gold. Down here, they just built a hole in the ground for the jail. Good place as any. Now, we can't open this door, but... And we see one of these doors we want to open later. We'll eventually get keys to open all these doors. Just jot that down. Oh, hey, it's Angus. Oh, we should tell his wife about that. That he's locked up here. Now, it asks you if you want to continue. That's for the NES version that they just carried over. If you said no, then it reminded you to hold reset while turning off the power. We don't have to do that. Not in this version. And here you get some pretty good equipment. I went ahead and got the hardware headgear just because that's the best armor you can buy in this chapter. And there's a weapon shop here too. We won't be using it, but it's there. Never noticed. It makes a sound if you thump against it. Now, we have a few medical herbs, right? Yes. And those clothes, I'm going to put the clothes in the bag. Not going to use them, but I'll sell them later. You walk around the woods. Well, I was hoping I'd get into another encounter or show off a new enemy. I think the wood background, it looks pretty good here at night. Or at sunset. Oh well, we'll head in here at night just like we were asked to do. Still not nighttime. Give it like one more tick. There we go. Now, for whatever reason, you have to talk to this kid to progress the storyline. Don't run back to tell his wife right away. We don't actually know that his name is Angus, even though he said it. We don't put it together until this child tells us. That's true for both versions. So ideally, if you're going quickly, you'd want to come here and make sure it's nighttime when you get here. Does he say anything different at night? Yeah, he confirms Angus. Now we head back to the wife. It's not a long journey. Unless you go the wrong way. We could use some more number anyway. Not so much for the way of money, but I'd like to be at level 5 before we head to the next section. Oh boy, new enemy. The Bubble Slime. This is the Babble enemy in the NES version. The Bubble Slime can poison you. If they manage to get through my armor. Which is why I bought the antidote herbs. If you're poisoned, then every few steps on the world map, you'll take damage. And this wonderful game with balanced battle mechanics, that's a big deal when you only have 30 health. Does it have to be daytime to tell her about it? And Agnes has joined me. She's not actually part of the team, you'll see there. Agnes, she's just following us. She won't help out in combat. She doesn't have any lines of her own. So we need to bring her back to Strathbale. The enemies are weak enough. Instead of doing that grind session at the start, I could have just walked straight to Strathbale, get in there by nightfall. Talk to him and head back and forth. The game wants you to wander around a bit to get Ragnar some number. Remember how much this little beauty cost you? See, in the NES version, it gives him a big old kiss that reminds him of her. I was looking for the babble in the woods earlier. But now we're heading back there anyway. So Angus tells us about there's some kind of playground in the woods the kids are using. Do want to sell those clothes and buy a couple more herbs. There's a new enemy, Stump Chump. Stump Chump, he can use a medical herb on himself, recovering him to full. Hey. And he can also drop a medical herb. Would you like a pair of pants? It'll almost pay for the medical herb itself. Gonna pick up 3 and toss it in the bag. So if we head southeast and just kind of comb through the woods, be guided down this well. Now if you go the wrong way, it'll tell you. Now in the NES version, there are no enemies if you're walking on the correct path. That's not true here. Then we have 2 new enemies, Mad Mole and Heal Slime. Heal Slime does what you think would do. It recovers. It'll cast Heal. Mad Moles will use Focus Strength to double their damage on the next turn. If he does that, I would recommend defending to mitigate damage taken. Show off, it will continue to tell you you're going the wrong way. A new enemy, Winkster. Winkster can cast Ice Bolt, or Blade, can cast a spell that does a lot of damage. So I just actually want to defend until he casts it. Because he only has enough MP for 1 spell. Unless I want to get risky. Oh. See, and that is why you want to defend. That was with defending. I took 4 damage. That could actually die here. Yes. Alright, so that is what happens if you don't do what you said you would do. Now, when you die in this game, I actually did that on purpose, so I can show this off. It's not game over when you die. It takes you exactly as you were, revives the lead character, and tosses you back in the last place you saved. They also take away half your gold, so then you have to spend more money reviving everyone else. to keep them, to get back on top. You can revive people at the church. We'll get to that when it's important. It will be at some point. Alright, now that I've shown that off. Just one of them, he doesn't, as you saw before, he doesn't always use Frizz right away. That's the Blaze spell in the NES version. So if it's just one of them, could go risky and just go all out. But I'm not quite strong enough to take him out. Yeah, so that's good. I would have taken 12 damage there apiece. It's good that they made defend remotely useful. Now, I could have 99 medical herbs in the bag if I really wanted. Now, it's going to say this is the wrong way. I don't care. In the NES version, you probably do want to listen on the first until you get here. Because the enemies in here are hard. Oh, I'm ready for you this time. Yeah. The perfect use of defend. Now, Ragnar is very slow. He has all of 7 agility here. He's almost always, the entire game, going to go after all the enemies. So keep that in mind. Oh, hey, Healy. You know what? I'm okay with that logic. Yes. And here we get our first party member. Unlike Agnes, Healy will actually be a member in the party. It would be great if you goo with me. So if we look at Healy, Healy is not strong. Healy has 9 strength, 9 attack, because Healy cannot wear equipment. Healy's a slime. Healy has 56 agility. Healy will go first in battle. And has decent defense for this point in the game. We also, because you see the question mark on level, that's a good indicator we cannot control Healy. Healy will do whatever Healy wants. However, out of battle, we could tell Healy, only in this version, not in the NES version, to heal us. Can't touch Healy spells in the NES version. But Healy's going to do a lot for keeping us healthy. See, their heal slime just healed them. Now, because there's 2 of us, I'm not going to defend to prevent Fizz. Because there's a chance that it will then attack Healy instead anyway. Now, the NES version, for many reasons, is much harder than this version. One reason, the East and West wings here, they just loop around to each other. What we want to do is head up here and to the right to get that chest that we saw just above Healy. Not only is the AI way worse in the NES version, as you'd expect, when the game takes over all your characters, the inventory space only being allowed to carry so many items, it's very limiting in the NES version. Here, that's not a problem at all. And here we get a ton of gold. That's why I was okay with losing that 50 earlier to show off dying. We get plenty in here. Now here, because there's two of them that could throw a big attack, I will defend. And so is Healy. The game, the AI is pretty good, which is why we're going to be using the Fight Wisely command later. Thus the title of the stream. Here, you letting the AI fight is actually to your benefit. Because, and hey, we got some pair of shoes. The AI knows what all the enemies are weak to. You goo flying off into the sky. Yeah, we gotta go ahead and try that. Toss that in the bag. And now we have to walk out of here. Now, in the NES version, if you just walk in here and get the flying shoes, which is what they're called there, then you don't have a single encounter. You would still want to get into some encounters to grab Healy in that version. And the free cash. So unless unless the AI is being really bad, or if I want to fight, if I wanted to do a, like I said, boss fight and be pretty underleveled, I might have to take manual command. Otherwise, I'm just going to control the hero and let, oh hey, a seed of strength dropped. Nice. We'll put that in the bag for later. You know what? We'll just go ahead and use those. By the time later comes... Now, when you use a seed of strength, it permanently increases someone's stats from 1 to 3. And overall, it doesn't make a huge difference, so yeah, total of 3. You could save Scum if you really wanted to until you got 3. I don't find it's really that big a deal overall. And a Seed of Life. Seeing as Ragnar's only ever going to be using his physical attack, that's why I gave him the Seed of Strength. He's slow as molasses and gets a ton of health, so he will not. I won't use these on him. No amount of Seed of Agility is going to fix that. Sadly... Sadly, no one has anything to say about, hey, you have is that a slime following you around? I wonder if that the west. That I guess is tower. I'm wondering if that to the west. I have no idea. I can't do a Scottish accent. Alright, what I want to pick up here is the Iron Shield. In this version, equipment has a lot of things it does for you. Like the Iron Shield takes some damage off of fire and ice attacks. Now, if I were to buy this and give it to Ragnar right now, it would toss all my medical herbs into the bag. I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to sell my leather shield. And then I'm going to buy the Iron Shield. Now, I'll take damage off of Frizzle the next time it comes in. And sadly, can't afford the iron armor. Not yet. So I have 2 antidote herbs, 2 medical herbs. Full pouch. Yeah, that looks good. How are we on health? Rest up at the inn. It's a nice touch over, like, say, Final Fantasy, where if you die, it's game over. You can always make, as long as you can defeat a single enemy before dying, you're making forward progress, even if you're losing your cash. And the game has a way to prevent your cash from being lost later anyway. Now, what did Healy say about those shoes? We just toss them into the air. Oh, we're at level 5. Good, that's right where I wanted to be for this. So, it just says items for a lot of these, but for the Talaria, the flying shoes in the NES version, you'll see on the top screen there, it says incredible item. Use this item when the time is right. Strange shoes have wings attached. So up we go. And it drops you into the tower. Now, we are nowhere near equipped for the enemies in this place. That'll change pretty quickly. Now that box, we'll come back for that box. Alright, new enemy, Bodkin Archers. Bodkin Archers can cast a buff on themselves, or the upper spell in the NES version, greatly increasing their defense. If they do that at all, I'm going to run from this fight. Because then I will not be able to pierce his attack. So if you see, now I'm doing 5. Now he could do that again and become absolutely invulnerable to me. They already started off invulnerable to Healy. But just 2 of them, we could handle it. If they both started off doing that, either on a single person or on themselves, then there's no way that would have gone well. Not yet. They're as strong as you like. Oh, he said no to Healy. I guess there's another pair of the shoes. Guess so. Alright, that's why I wasn't worried about the money. I'm going to come back through this tower again once I get what I came here for. The enemies are very powerful until I get up here. Come on, get it, get it. Yes! In here, you get the Cautery Sword. In the NES version, that's the Sword of Malice. I'm gonna toss a single thing. I want to show the power increase. You can't buy this in this chapter. Up to 72 attack. And, you see the description on here. We use the tool during battle. If you use this during battle, it casts the Sizz spell, which is like Fizzle on all enemies. So now I'm going to backtrack. Here's a new enemy, Splatapunk. Splatapunk can cast Sap on you, lowering your defense, which would cause them to deal a lot more damage to Ragnar if they actually managed to cut his defense. And wow, 32 damage now from the 10 we were doing before. Now if I use it during battle, I can use it on a group of enemies. You may have noticed that up to this point it hasn't mattered, but enemies were split into groups. Certain spells can only hit a group of enemies versus hitting all of them. I am going to use the Seed of Resilience on Ragnar, because he's going to be the tank. The person at the front of the formation takes more hits than anyone else. I do want to head down these stairs, because for whatever reason, it's the first chapter of the game. You get a full heal. So yeah, if you can get to that Cautery Sword, it was 2 battles. In the NES version, it would be a lot more than that. Get a Scale Shield. It's nowhere near as good as the Iron Shield. It's not worth waiting for. This would be the place to grab the Cautery Sword, do the grind. Seed of Strength. Awesome. We'll give that to Ragnar. Toss the shield in the bag. Oh, 3. Wow. Getting really lucky on these seed rolls. We only got a singular one. And then that last box over there is a Wing of the Wyvern. Forget what it's called in this version. Now, here it says they don't notice our presence, means we either get a free round on them, or we get a guaranteed runaway. I will take the free round on them. Because we're strong enough now. Had I gotten that before I got the Cautery Sword, I would have just ran away. But now we have the strongest sword in the chapter. The Cautery Sword will do well to take us through most of the game, actually. There's only a couple more that are going to be better. So you see he cast Sap on us, which lowered our defense. Followed up by the Mole that could have dealt a lot of damage. For 200 shy, I do want the Iron Armor. Now the Chimera Wing, it'll zoom you back to any place you've been to. Found some clothes. So far in the game. So if I were to decide to go ahead and use that, where did it end up? It'll give me an option. Do I want to fly to Berland or Strathbale? Do need a little bit more money. The leather armor will sell for, I believe, 90. Now, if we hit him through his buff, it still does a lot of damage. One or two more battles and we'll have enough for the Iron Armor. And here's a new enemy, Blinkster. Blinkster can cast, thank you, Crack. It's a slightly stronger spell than Fizzle, but it Frizzle. But it does the same amount of damage right now because we have the Iron Shield that reduced damage from ice attacks. And Healy doing his work. And I believe we have enough for the Iron Shield. Now, if you drop out of the tower, it'll bring you right there. They want to put the Chimera Wing in the bag. We'll use that later. We have enough for the Iron Armor, provided I sell the Copper Sword and the Leather Armor. One step off. Would you like an old sword? And I have a pair of pants here. And my old leather armor. And there's nothing special with the Iron Armor compared to the Iron Shield, but it boosts my defense. It was at 37 before, it's up to 55 now. Alright, and we're ready to be done with Ragnar. Yeah, we're in good shape. Let's head up there. And it's a relatively short tower. Now, in the NES version, these are broken up into many rooms. This is a dangerous encounter if you didn't have the sword already. Now, you see how they're broken up into groups? If I were to use the Cautery Sword, it would only hit one of these groups. So if I decide to use it on the Blinksters, it'll hit both of them. And you see how it isn't affected? I did that on purpose to show you resistances work different in this game than it does in, like, the, say, Final Fantasy series. No enemy is weak to something, they're just vulnerable to it. So these Blinksters, they have a resistance to fire attacks. So there's a chance it won't hit them. As some enemies have resistances as low as 15%, some enemies are completely resistant 100% to something. And you can learn this through trial and error, which is how I know it. Or you could get a bestiary, follow a guide. Or the other way I'm going to do it, let the AI do it. They know all the enemy resistances. I'm going to take one more antidote herb out of the bag. Guess I could have sold that scale shield then. I have nothing. We didn't have anything we wanted to buy. If you step out there, it just takes you to the bottom of the tower. That'll be relevant later. They don't know we're here. Carry on. Ragnar, I don't know how much time left. There's something I need to tell you. Somewhere in the world, underworld is reawakening. But if what the monsters say is true, there's also a hero out there. We'll be able to take them on. If they find him while he's still a bairn, he will not be strong enough to defend himself. That's what they're plotting. So you must protect our kiddies, Ragnar. Do not let them come to any harm. And that's the best Scottish accent you're getting out of me. My poor attempt at Sean Connery. And we found Willie Wallace. William Wallace. Now, in the NES version, I would definitely recommend grinding up to level, I don't know, 9 or 10. Have a full complement of medical herbs. Maybe even drop the headwear for another herb. It's called the wooden hat in the NES version. Because Healy is not particularly smart in that version. You're doing it pretty much yourself. Here, level 7, we might be okay. I'll try it without grinding. Because you have the free heal spots. So here we go. We have Winky and Sorrow's Pawn. They do a lot of damage, so hopefully Healy heals himself. Yeah, that could have killed Healy easily. Desperate Attack is pretty much their critical hit. So Sorrow's Pawn, he can either cough up a fireball, which will do less damage if we have the Iron Shield. He'll physically attack for a ton. Or he'll cast Frizz or Sizzle. Fire on everyone. We've gotten really lucky here. Healy's fairly smart. Healy understands that Healy can't damage the pawn, so... But if we drop, it's over. Healy is not allowed to fight without us. I was fully prepared to let Healy die. Hey, we got him. That went a lot smoother than it should have. And if we check out their cells. Now you could climb the tower to the top. I just really like the framing device of that as a... he's already passed away, but he remembers the words. If you didn't have the Chimera Wing or already used it, if you used the Teleria, it would just bring you back to the top of the tower. And if you walked off the bottom of it, it would bring you to where we fell off before. But I had it. We return to Straithbell to drop off the children. Yay, happy times. Now, your items will transfer over later in the game. Your money will not. So what you'd want to do ideally is buy everything you can. That'll be more relevant later. But money also won't be a problem in this game. For a reason. Now, we've saved the world. Well, we saved the children. And since the chapter's over, all the enemies are gone. As is the case with the end of the first 3 Dragon Warrior games. When the world is saved, enemies go away. Oh, let's visit Agnes. Let's see how they're doing. Hey guys. Now you don't know about the playground until he tells you about it, so they're mandatory. So I bought all those medical herbs before, thinking Healy was going to drop. I just got lucky. And here, it's slightly different between the NES and this version. One version just gives you a flat amount of XP. The other one brings you up to a certain level. Considering how high you have to, how much... I believe the NES version just gives you a flat amount, and considering how high you have to be to beat that boss reliably on the NES version... is not particularly much, but here he brings you up to a certain level. How the king is just giving you his experience and making you stronger for it, that's beyond me, but... yeah, look at all that strength. Ragnar's gonna hit like a truck whenever he's on the field. But he's gonna be slow as molasses. Mine who ye gay. What? Try that again, King? And so Ragnar McRyan set off on his journey to find the child hero. The end, we beat the game.